Good morning, everybody. I wanted to speak to you this morning about having touchstones written down. And what I mean by touchstones is writing down everything that God has done for you in the past. One thing I do is keep a journal. This is my journal. Well, it's my old one. This is my current one. So I keep a journal, and I'm such a planner girl. So it's cutesy because that's my thing. But I pretty much write down what it is that I want to do, but I leave a lot of space for writing down what actually happened that day. Being able to go back and look and see what God has done for me in the past has really helped me and my husband through our constant faith walks, because it's like, your faith is being increased each time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I got through that. I could do that again. But then there's something else, and it requires more faith. And next time it requires more faith. So it's really important to see how good God is and see what He's done for you in the past. So my husband and I, we moved to Fort Worth, Texas from California. I don't know if I want to tell you my story. Yes, I'm going to tell you my story. So we moved from Fort Worth, Texas to California. We were trying to move to Arizona like a year before that, and everything fell through. It just did not work out. It wasn't the right move. It really wasn't. But we knew we had to move out of California. We don't really know why we needed to move out of California. It was just time for us to go, right? One day, my brother was talking to me. He was in the DFW area in Texas, which is Dallas Fort Worth area. He was talking to me about Texas, and I was kind of scared because I've never been to the South, and I'm just not used to the dynamics, of being in the South. My husband and I, we are a mixed couple. We deal with, interesting things that some people don't really have to deal with because they're a black and black couple or a white and white couple. And, you can go into a space and be accepted. But when you're a mixed couple, if you are one, that sometimes you're not accepted anywhere, and God is so good because we're accepted by Him, and that's all that matters. We were nervous about going to the South, and we heard good things from my brother who grew up in California with me. We were born and raised in California. So I was like, okay, let's give it a try. Because one thing, a desire of my heart and my husband's heart was to see the four seasons, be in an area where kids were playing outside, because where we were in California, that just really dwindled down to absolutely no children outside. And it really hurt my heart, because my kids, they're homeschooled. Well, they were homeschooled. They're homeschooled again, though, now. But they were homeschooled in California, and we really depended on going out and interacting with other kids. But every kid was inside with technology, and it really broke my heart. And I just wanted to be in an area where we felt like we would thrive as a family. And it was on our heart to go to Texas. My husband and I, after I spoke to him about my conversation with my brother, we both had a dream that same night. And we were like, we're moving to Texas. And since then, we just been moving. We've been walking by faith. We've been talking to God. And yes, doubt would come in sometimes if we spoke to somebody and they implanted doubt. So be careful who you speak to, for real, really. Even if it's with good intentions, because a lot of people have good intentions, but they don't necessarily know what it is that God has planned for you or what He's establishing. Most people don't really understand or know what it is that God has set up for you, right? So be careful with who you speak to, especially on your faith walk. I'm not saying to neglect wise counsel, because that's very important. Consider it. Consider it. But make sure you're listening to God's voice more than you're listening to anybody else's. And if you're like at a place where you're not sure if it's God's voice, and you're getting used to trusting in Him, God will meet you where you're at, but He'll also push you beyond where you're at. So I would highly encourage you to just keep speaking to the Father and look for Him in everything. When you're doing readings, like if you're reading the Bible, if you're reading a book from Priscilla Shirer, you know what I'm saying, from any minister or anything, honestly, God can minister to you through anything. But just look out for Him, listen to Him, pay attention, get quiet. That's the main key, is to be quiet. Don't overconsume. That's really important. Being on your phone all the time and scrolling and looking at TikTok and da, 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 da. Yeah, it's fun, it's cool and stuff, but constantly feeding yourself this information and not being able to be quiet to sit with the Father, that's honestly a habit that you really need to develop. And it takes time, but just push and fight to get there, because you can and you will. Okay. My husband and I both had a dream about we're moving to Texas. It was definitely a God-given dream. It wasn't anything like that we could have just like imagined up. Oh, I think I really want to do this. No, it was like, because the day before we're like, that sounds like an interesting, option. We're considering it. But then we had that dream, both of us at the same time. Listen, okay? And then we started just moving. In this book, every single day, I'm writing about our walk. And it's crazy. Like we already had a vacation set to go to San Diego. We were going to go to SeaWorld. And we had the money planned to go on this vacation. But God put it in my spirit. He said, no, go to Texas. Go visit. And we're like, okay. And that was like in a week. And we're like, yeah, okay, let's go. So that's exactly what we did. We went to Texas just to see how we liked it. And when we drove into Texas, we saw areas in Texas that we dreamed about when it came to our ministry. And it was just an unction in our gut. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where we're supposed to be. We knew that immediately driving into Texas. Well, actually not driving into Texas, because we drove through El Paso and it's really cool over there. It was like nighttime, but we drove through closer to the area that we ended up moving to, and it just like, oh yes, this is where we belong. This is where we're supposed to be for our ministry. And that was crazy. And then we just had a good time, really. We just had a good time. We went to the park. We went to the mall. We went to the movies, and we went to a mall out there. And when we were window shopping, we ran into a real estate agent. Randomly, we were just talking about clothes. And they were like, oh, so where are you guys from? Are you not from here? They're like, yeah, we're from California. We're thinking about moving here. She said, oh, really? Well, I'm a real estate agent. God, okay? When you move, listen, okay? Just move. Pick up your feet and move, and he will direct your path. For real. You don't have to like manipulate things. You don't have to course correct. God will. Okay? So we run into this real estate agent. Got our information. Super sweet lady. We're like, okay. Oh my gosh. We never worked with a real estate agent before, and we didn't know how it worked. We didn't know when we pay because we weren't really in a financial place, you know, to pay for her services. We weren't. But we found out she was just going to take a cut from the sale of wherever we move. And that's exactly what happened. But yeah, it was crazy. Our credit was bad. Our credit was bad. Okay? Really, it was bad. We didn't have any money saved, even though we downsized in California so we can save money to move out of California. And we couldn't save a dime because in the money that we saved from the rent had to go to other things that were not included in the place that we were living. It was just, oh my gosh. We had to depend on God, and that's the place he wants you to be, okay? But if I didn't have this book with all of the details, I'm just writing everyday stuff like wins and all kind of things. The hard times, I'm writing about that. Write about it for real, because it really matters, being able to look and see how God is directing your path. He's got you. You have to remember that he's got you. And the only way you can remember that is if you write it down. Write it down. Okay? So I'm really encouraging you. Right now, we're at a different place when it comes to our faith. We are believing in God, being able to provide for us without a job, without jobs. And that is like scary. But when he shows up time after time, and he has this track record of being faithful and being our provider, he's always been there, y'all. He's always been there. He's always taking care of us. Remember his goodness. Write it down, you guys, for real. I'm looking back, and I want to talk to you a little bit about our faith walk out here, just because people can think you're crazy when you're doing what God tells you to do, because it really does look crazy, for real, because it makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense. He had my husband quit his job before he had another one lined up. He had us tell our landlord that we will not be renewing at the place that we're at because we're moving out of state. I mean, he had us take steps that did not make sense. It's like, shouldn't we get a job before? You know what I'm saying? Before we quit, no, he was like, no, do this, then do that. Now do this. Now do that. So when you're on a faith walk, you have to stay connected to your source. Seek him constantly. Seek him. Talk to him. Okay, now what, Father? Okay, I did it. Okay, now what? Okay, I did it. Now what? And it's crazy because we moved out. No, we drove to Texas June 12th. And June 10th is the day we finally got our approval for the place we were moving to. 2 days before we were driving out there regardless, because God told us to go. Go when he tells you to go. It is terrifying. But this is the place where he wants his children. He wants us to trust him. He wants us to move when he tells us to move. You got to trust him. And it's hard, okay? It is, I know. I know it is. But I want to read a little bit. There's things that were falling through. Everything didn't just work out smoothly, but it did though. You know what I'm saying? During the time when I'm going through it, it's like, oh my God, it's a fire here, it's a fire there. And then here comes God's like, no, it's not. You good. It's crazy. It's fun though. It's the touchstones. It all through this book. You gotta like for real. Okay. So on like what was it? The 7th of June, we applied for a place. We really didn't have too much money to be applying for a whole bunch of places, but we applied for this one place and we got denied same day. That was $160 down the drain. I wrote it all out. Okay, on the 8th, we applied for another place. We got approved, but we had to make an offer because there were other people bidding on this place. I was like, what? I've never experienced that in my life. Like, okay, so we fighting. So we have to set our own like amount that we're gonna pay for it, and what? I just never heard of that. And yeah, we won that bid. Glory to God. Oh my gosh, that was that was crazy. But it was like we kept going. I'm looking at all the plans here, packing things, and where are we going to store them, and how are we going to get it out there. And we're solving these problems as we move. It did not we Okay, so a lot of times people would prefer, including me, yeah, including me, prefer to be able to have everything in place, in order, perfect and tidy and cute. Oh, I know how we're gonna get our our luggage out there, our all of our stuff. I know how we're gonna get it all out there ahead of time. Oh, I know where we're going. Like months ahead. I would like to know. Maybe 2 days, 2 days ahead. We knew where we were going. We knew we had a place. And we're just scrounging for money, and God is good, and He provides, and He's providing and providing and providing. Every single turn He's providing. We were driving, my husband and I were driving to a storage location because we were thinking maybe we can just put our stuff in a storage out here and then have my brother ship everything out later when we have the money to pay for it. And on our way to the storage, I saw U-Haul U-Box. The Holy Spirit was like, oh, go check there. You can probably store it there and then have it ship out there without having to include your brother. And he doesn't have to put so much effort in your move. And he's already helping so many people right now. And yeah, how about you do that? And I checked and it was like, oh my gosh, it was just perfect. It was like, that's exactly what we needed. So just move, okay? I just really want to encourage you guys to move. Right here, okay, we threw away, we gave away, we sold every piece of furniture that we had. So we're starting fresh and new. In this brain dump that I have here, I'm writing down every single thing that I need for our place. At the end of it, the total was like $15,000. Baby, when I tell you, we got a couch for $100, we got bar stools for $40, we got a bed. We got a bed for free. We didn't spend more than $300 to furnish our home. The desk that I'm sitting at right now, I had a desk like this in California. I guess I could take a picture of it, and I don't know. I don't know if I can insert it. I'm not really good with, I don't know much about YouTube, y'all, or like creating content for YouTube. So I don't know, but maybe I'll show it one day. But I had a desk like this. It's a cute secretary desk. I had it in California and I love that desk. Um, it was so special to me. I painted it. I worked so hard on it. And God gave me a desk that was like that, but better for $40. And it's just like things like that. He just reminds me of how much he loves me and how much he pays attention. He cares about the things that matter to you. Even though sometimes it can feel like why would it? Why would it matter to God that I really like a desk, a certain style of a desk? Why would that matter to him? Because he loves you. He loves you more than you really can imagine, you guys. But yes, that I guess that's the end of my conversation with you. It's just really I just wanted to talk about writing down what God is currently doing in your life. Write it down. Not on just a single sheet of paper. Please get a notebook or something. You know, I have so many notebooks, y'all. I love my notebooks. I am a planner girly. But yeah, write it down is really important because like when your faith is being tested, like yesterday, oh my gosh, it was a day. It was a day. And it was scary. But then God brought me back. He even brought me back to, okay, I got a prayer book too. And I write down these prayers on sticky notes. Let me show you. I got prayers all down. Don't be looking. It's personal. But anyway, I have these prayers in these different sections. And then I go through it and I move it to the answered. There's a tab down here. Answered prayers. Baby, when I tell you this thing is full, it is full answered prayers. I even have papers behind that with a whole bunch of, and here's another page. I mean, full. When you see how good God has been to you, baby, your faith is strengthened. You need to be reminded. So, yeah, I I looked through my prayer Bible yesterday, or prayer journal, sorry, yesterday because God told me to, and I thought I knew what to expect, but there's a prayer. There's a prayer in it that's being answered currently. And I'm like, oh, uh-oh. Be careful with how you pray, y'all. It's I'm so grateful though. I'm so grateful because when you're like, oh, I don't this situation or this job or this opportunity is causing harm to my family dynamic. And Father, please give us more time. Please give us more freedom. Give us a better way of making income. He'll do that, but he'll do it in a way that you weren't expecting, and that's probably really uncomfortable. And that's exactly what's happening. We are in a place where we have to truly trust in God's provision and that trust that God is faithful and that He loves us and that He can take care of every single area of our life. There's certain areas where my faith is strong, but then there's other areas where my faith is weak. Yeah, where my faith is weak, and that's the area where He's working on right now. And having this notebook is helping out so much. And I'm encouraged and I'm reminded of how to move, really, because I'm looking at my steps in here and I'm looking how I'm moving despite the fear. I'm looking at my praises to God. I'm praising God in my workbook or in my journal. I'm talking about how good God is despite what things may look like, on a hard day. Despite what things may look like, God is still good. So I'm looking at how I'm moving. I'm looking how I'm speaking to God, and I'm just like, okay, so now what? And that's where he wants you to be. He wants you at a place where you have to depend on him. So yes, get yourself a notebook, y'all. Listen, I've been in Texas for so long, that's why I keep saying y'all. I don't say y'all. Anyways, um, get yourself a notebook and start writing, start journaling. I might show you guys how I journal, and it's nothing, super fancy. It really isn't. It's cute. But yeah, I want you all to have a blessed day. I hope this video blesses and encourages you. Yes, keep fighting the good fight, y'all. Have a blessed day. Bye.